Hello, this is John Piper with the weekend video, and it's Saturday the 3rd of March. Thought we'll start with the DAX this morning. Basically, we've seen this peak here. I've been warning that we're going to see market peaks for some time now. In particular, I mentioned I was sold all my equities some weeks ago, and so you should all be prepared for this. I think this is going to be quite a big fall, which is just starting out. So the key is to first not lose any money, so get out of these shares, etc. Had all this finance pumped into these markets. I'm talking about stocks, bonds, and property primarily, and that always takes prices too high. Everybody gets excited. The psychology takes over, and everybody's in at the top. And the next stage is the market's falling back over a period of years, I suspect, and I've been palatable fear at the bottom. It happens all the time. You see it again and again and again over market action. And this seems to me pretty clear now that the peaks are in and that we're going down. So I hope you're prepared for that. You certainly ought to be. The question is now looking to take advantage of the sell-offs. On the DAX, 2 counts here. We either have 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 2 wave, A, B, C, quite a subnormal T wave. And this is wave 1 of 3. We'll have a look at it in a minute, because there is the alternative count, which is that we had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 4th wave, and there's actually a 5th wave coming in. So it's made new lows, that's what you expect. And the big difference here is, in fact, at this point, there would be no difference in the form of this. Let's assume we need a 5th wave there. So the key thing is what happens next. I say this is either a 5th wave, down, as per the first count, or it's a wave 1 of 3. Actually, it's the other way around. It's the first count. So it's either the 5th wave from here, or it's 1 of 3 from here. So let's have a look at the action since this peak around 12.6. Right, here's the peak. So we've got a possible 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think it's some toing and froing to come here. Obviously, this kind of situation where we have these massive peaks, you can expect some very fast action at some point in time. You've already seen some fairly recently, but as in H7, one could just see the markets collapse, so that wouldn't surprise me at all. But at the moment, the wave pattern suggests we're going to see another wave down at least, maybe a few more waves down to complete this pattern. Then it's either a corrective ABC with a major peak and then a really fast collapse. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is that this actually is the low of 5 and that we're going to see a much stronger rally above 12.6. Which it'll be should become quite clear next week. The only positive I would mention is that option expiry is actually 2 weeks away. We usually get the quieter action into expiry, so it would make sense here for us to see a low next week, for the market to start rallying, not necessarily strongly, but start rallying, and then for a major peak to come in after expiry in about 2 weeks' time. It needs to be monitored. I mean, you don't often get crashes, really fast action coming in the 2 weeks before expiry. Not impossible, of course. The markets play to various different instruments, as it were. But option expiry is important, and usually it happens after expiry. So I'm inclined to see this rally, this ABC rally, before anything too dramatic happens. And Mondays are dangerous, so that would take us out of the Monday situation. And a bigger rally is certainly very possible given the subnormal 4th wave that we're talking about. Well, looking at FTSE, we've got the same basic pattern. So it could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there's again a very weak rally. Well, the 4th wave is fine, but as a 2 wave, it's not really. Followed by this move down to new lows again. Exactly the same parameters. It just depends what happens next, whether we get a very weak rally and then another slide, or whether we go a bit higher and create a bigger 4th wave. which would need to take some expiry, I'd expect. So it's been about a month or so now, a little bit longer than that since this peak. about 6 weeks in fact. So a rally from here could take us up, certainly for 2 weeks, if it's a wave 2 into expiry, or longer than that. These things can carry on. It could be the April expiry. But right now the pattern's very clear, and so we've got to watch this move here on both markets, look for the low, and then gauge the strength of the corrective rally that I'm expecting, bar collapses. Right, the Dow's a little bit different because the peak came in here at 26,000, had a clear ABC decline, not 5, there's no doubt about that, followed by another A, B, then a C to there, which is quite a decent sized rally. And what's interesting here is that we've now got 5 waves down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a bounce is due here also, and because the pattern is different, it has to be a wave 2. This is a wave 1, this is a wave 2. I mean, obviously the market could go higher. It could be a more complex correction. Having seen these clear 5 waves down, let's get down and look at more. This is a particularly clear count, in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 wave. ABC 2 wave. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 wave. 4 wave. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're now looking for a bounce. So this suggests that the water is going to be a fairly positive, and see fairly positive action next week. We're looking at retracement levels. 50% is about 25,000. Fibonacci 61.8 is about 25, 160 thereabouts, matching that peak actually there roughly. So those levels I'll look for. This is quite an encouraging chart that, at least as far as next week's concerned, we're not going to be seeing anything too dramatic. But there's so much news around, so much potential for. I mean, the whole thing is just poised on the cliff edge, really. Just as slightest push, it's able to send it over, as well as I can see. And so the chart patterns say the same thing. It's just a question of when that starts to happen. There's no real if about it, I don't think. Right, gold. Could have seen a complete ABC. A, B, C, down to there. A little bit subnormal. I think I'd much prefer to see 1300 broken. Currently, we haven't got any confirmation of a low here. We have got 5 waves down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We haven't quite got parity either, so that's about 1367 or so. Down to here. 1308. So parity is going to come in below 13 now, or around 1300. Just remember one more low to come. So look at the action since the low. Right, the actual action since the low is pretty unreadable. Looks like an ABC, in fact, A, B, C, but again, not necessarily complete. I think we're very close to low. I don't think it's quite in yet, probably. That's my overall view. Having said that, it does rather depend on what other markets might do, and we are entering an area of turmoil, I expect. Look at euro dollar, sort of peak here. It looks like an ABC, very clear ABC in fact. A, B, possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if there's something with fit. But this looks like an impulsive move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that's the case, that's pretty. I mean, it totally looks like there's a major trend up on euro, down on dollar. That would be unsurprising given the way the US economy spends money on war and etc. that they seem very keen on. If so, this may well be the first impulsive move up. We could have an ABC due, and we could have a correction here, so we may see a bit of dollar strength before that's over, before we see the thing start to accelerate to the upside. That of course could affect gold if the dollar starts to get stronger, so that may be why gold is actually hesitating at the moment. But this is a longer term chart, so we're talking about quite a big move here. Just have to see what the chart patterns tell us, but on euro dollar it looks like we could see some dollar strength for some months in fact. Right, Bitcoin has actually been calm at the moment, so it's still going up. It's going up, but it's not going up as strong as it did around last year. Of course, I mean, this move from mid-November below 6,000 up to 20,000 was a fairly incredible move. We then got this big A, B, C, taking us right back to that low. Not quite so low, but pretty much. So within 2 months or 3 months, seeing the whole thing bounce up, going up 333% roughly thereabouts, then collapsing back the same number of points, about 70%, And what I think is a big 1-2, I think it's a big 2 wave, and we're now starting to see the beginning of a 3rd wave. So fairly critical stuff. Let's go down a leg. We have a nice clear 5 wave count here to give us some kind of confirmation of that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3rd wave, 4th wave, 5th wave. Now the question is what's happening at the moment. I suppose this could be complete ABC. It's possible the low's already in, a little bit subnormal, but that's one possibility. And we have got some confirmation, and we've got 5 waves up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by what could be a 2 wave, and now a 1, 2, and a 3rd wave may be coming in to take some new highs. That's one possibility. The alternative, which is fairly obvious, is that we're just seeing an A, B, C, B, and then C's coming. Either one is fine. I mean, both will give us some confirmation as long as this remains a corrective decline. I guess probably the second scenario, another leg down, C wave, is probably the clearer wave pattern, only because it's a little bit subnormal. But all we need to do is see this thing take off a bit, see the rally take off, and it will confirm the first one. So some downsides and maybe some more buying opportunities, but the pattern looks positive, and it's just a question of whether we see this new low first. Obviously, it's quite a big fall; it'll be about 3,000 points thereabouts. So it will be a playable sum if you want to trade Bitcoin. I put a buy and hold really. I put a buy, sell at the top maybe. Well, not necessarily the top, but sell around here if I see evidence that we're seeing another leg down, and then just look to put the cash back in again once we see that low come in as unexpected. Right, all for today. I found it interesting and useful. Quite a critical time really. A lot happening at the moment. Equity markets are the key focus really, in the sense that what happens there could affect all our lives going forward over the next few years. The gold and Bitcoin, I suppose, are not as central to the whole world economy, but I think they're supposed to be in coming months. Anyway, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.